You are physically alive, but are you really living? That's a question that I've been asking myself every single day for these last 2 years, and it's really put things into perspective in terms of how I go about my life. So many of us go about these same routines every single day. We go to the same places, we see the same people, we interact with those people in the same manner, and we just do the same things over and over and over in this repetitive, monotonous sort of way. And look, I get it. Routines are very important, and you probably have endless responsibilities you gotta take care of. You gotta keep the lights on, you gotta keep food in the fridge, you have people to take care of. So that might mean going to work and meeting with the same people every single day in order to make money and survive and provide for your family. Totally get that. But what I've noticed is that so many people go about life in this haze. They're in this zombie-like trance of sorts, and people are essentially sleepwalking through their lives, day after day after day. We're not really appreciating what's happening all around us. We go about our days doing the same things, going to the same places, and we're like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. And we just have this annoyance with life. But when you don't truly appreciate life itself, then it goes by like that. And then you wake up one day and realize, holy crap, where did all the time go? I totally understand things feeling like they're a chore or going about your life like, it's just another day, especially when you're doing things that you don't love, especially when it comes to the workplace. The amount of people I've met in office buildings who complain about, oh, the day's just dragging by, or, oh, it's almost Friday, I'm so excited for the weekend. It's so bizarre, man. These people continue to complain and complain and complain, and they always say, oh yeah, like, I don't like doing this, so I can't wait for the weekends, and then Monday comes and it's the same thing over and over and over. Literally never ends. From my experience, more people than not are exactly like this. They'll complain, oh, it's only 1 p.m., or oh, this day's just dragging by, or oh, it's only Tuesday, what the hell, I wish it was Friday. And these same people, they'll rush home, they'll put on their pajamas, watch TV, put back a 6-pack of beers or go out to the bar and just get hammered just so they can come back on Monday morning and do it all over again. Just so they can complain by Tuesday, just so they can complain at 1 p.m. how the day isn't going by fast enough. And there have been times when I'm sitting there like, well, if you hate your job so much, if you don't like your situation, what are you doing about it? Or why are you complaining? Because clearly complaining hasn't done anything for you in the last 15 to 20 years. And these same people will go on with their lives, months pass, years pass, and they're vicariously living through other people on the internet. They're saying, oh man, I love how this guy's doing that. I wish I could do that. Or, oh wow, I love how this girl is traveling the world. I wish I could go do that. And it's like, you can't. You can't decide to spend a few extra hours after your shift or on the weekend building that side hustle so you can maybe make more money and go travel the world. You can learn a new skill in the morning hours or in the evening hours. But instead, you're just going to complain and complain and complain and then wonder why your situation never changes. People would rather complain and not do anything than try something new to improve their situation and fail. Because when you try something new to fail, that's like you're putting your identity at risk. You're putting your sense of self in harm's way, even if it's just psychological. And I also understand why people would rather live vicariously through others on the internet. Because, as I said, doing something bold and failing, well, that's scary. If you can see other people climbing Mount Everest or see somebody running a marathon or see somebody, I don't know, building a house rather than doing it for yourself, you're like, oh yeah, like I got the same feeling of doing exactly what it is that person did, even though you really didn't do it. I saw this video of an actor on some late night TV show. His name is Gabriel Basso, or Gabriel Basso, I don't know. Anyways, he was telling the talk show host how he deleted Instagram, and the host is like, why would he do that? Instagram's awesome, right? So this guy, Gabriel Basso, he says, I was scrolling Instagram and I saw a picture of the top of Mount Everest. And I immediately thought, I'm not supposed to see that. The only people who are supposed to see that view are the people who have climbed Mount Everest, the people who have trained for years, the people who have put in that work and bought the supplies and spent weeks of their life climbing the damn mountain. And meanwhile, I'm just sitting on my couch like a fat slob seeing this picture. He was like, I'm not supposed to be seeing this. And the crazy thing is that the awareness that takes is significant, because many people would see that and be like, oh wow, like that's amazing, and never even think twice about the fact that you aren't supposed to see something like the top of Mount Everest unless you actually climb the damn mountain. Anyways, this whole cycle continues. You know, you have responsibilities that you don't want to do. You complain about them, and that puts you in a negative mindset. And when you're in that negative mindset, you can't appreciate the whole world around you because you're just resentful. You have this glass half empty view of the world. From there, as I said, you know, you go to work, you take care of your responsibilities, but you're in this negative mindset, and you come home and you just feel exhausted. You're drained. All your energy is completely gone because the best hours of your day have been spent taking care of your responsibilities, whether you like that job, those responsibilities or not. And then from there, we go home and we endlessly consume more and more content. We flood our minds with all this information, and then we go to bed feeling exhausted, just so that we can wake up tomorrow and the next day and the next day and do the same exact thing. This, to me, is the vicious cycle that 95 to 99% of people, especially in the Western world, are facing. You work hard, you complain, you get exhausted, come home, and you just flood your brain with dopamine, essentially. And what this does is it makes you feel just good enough. It makes you feel content with your current living situation, even if you really don't like your living situation at all. This is what I like to call the modern sedation hypothesis. And I talked about this a couple of videos back. I'm not sure which one. But yeah, when we feel just good enough, we're getting just enough dopamine, just enough serotonin from these short-term, immediate gratification pleasures that we just don't care enough to actually do something meaningful to change our life. So what's the answer here? What can you do if you feel trapped in this cycle of just having to deal with your responsibilities and getting frustrated and complaining about them and going about life with this negative mindset? What can you do right now in practical steps? Well, something I have done in my life is I've reframed how I perceive responsibilities. So rather than thinking, oh, I have to do this or I have to do that, I think I get to do this or I get to do that. So let's say you have a job and you really don't like it. Instead of thinking, oh man, I gotta go to work, I hate that place, I hate being around those people, you could think, I get to go to work and earn a paycheck because many people living in today's day and age do not. Or let's say it's a Friday evening and you were invited to go out to the bar and drink with friends, but you know that you need to hit the gym. You didn't hit the gym earlier in the day and you're like, man, I really gotta get a workout in. Rather than thinking, I have to go to the gym, you would think, I get to go to the gym and lift weights. Because there are some people out there who literally cannot lift weights because they're missing arms or legs. And if that's the case, if you have your arms and legs, then you can go to the gym. That's something to be grateful for. These are just two examples, but you get the point. It's going from I have to do something to I get to do something. And when you go about life with this frame of mind, with this glass half full view of the world, life just gets so much better, all right? You see opportunities everywhere. You feel more appreciation. You feel this deep gratitude for what you have. And you're not always complaining, all right? Because when you're always complaining, when you're seeing things in a negative light, then negativity just seems to stack on top of each other. It continues to get worse and worse and worse. And this, to me, is when you actually start living, all right? Because, as I said, most people are alive, but they're not really living. So, yeah, shift your mindset around what you have to do versus what you get to do. Begin feeling this appreciation and just enjoy life. Have fun. Spend more of your time doing things that you love doing. And in doing so, you can create this even more enjoyable experience, not even for yourself, but for everybody all around you. So, yeah, thank you for watching. These are my thoughts, and speak to you soon.